The H-1B visa program has long been a pivotal aspect of immigration in the United States, particularly for skilled professionals and international students. The Biden administration recently unveiled a set of changes to the H-1B program aimed at improving its integrity and flexibility while addressing the evolving needs of the American workforce. Now, we have with us, Soundarya Balasubramani joining us, the author of Unshackled, along with Sameer Khedekar, also the author of Unshackled. Let's just find out the process, these proposed changes as far as the H-1B visa process is concerned. Soundarya, break it down for us. Decode, how does this make immigration easier for the employee?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Divya. I think when we talk about people, there's two sides. There's the employee side and the employer side. I think the biggest win for both the employees and the employers is that there are no more multiple entries in the lottery. So what this means is, in 2023, when the H-1B lottery results were published, of the almost 800,000 registrations, more than half of them came from people who submitted multiple entries, meaning the same person put in, say, 10 applications on their behalf through different companies, and artificially boosting their chances by doing this. So with this new rule, when it goes into effect, that can't happen anymore. So this gives a fair chance for everyone, including employees, employers who want to hire employees, and so on. I think that's the first big win. The second way in which this helps employees is that they've removed something called the need for an employer-employee relationship for founders. So the significance of this is, today, if I want to start my company and then file an H-1B through that company for myself, I can't own more than 50% equity in my own company. And I would have to have a board of directors who can hire, fire, and pay me. So it just created a lot of constraint for founders who wanted to use the H-1B to start their companies in the US. But now they've removed that requirement, thus letting founders have more than 50% equity in their own company. Right. Last but not least, there's also a win for students. So they've automatically extended the cap gap from October 1st to the April 1st of next year. The significance of this is sometimes students' F1 visa expires before their H-1B kicks in. So several years ago, the US government introduced something called the cap gap to automatically extend their visa until the H-1B kicks in on October 1st. But sometimes the USCIS has processing delays, so their H-1B does not start October 1st, and there are some delays until, say, a few months later. But now with this new rule, the extension extends all the way until April 1st of next year, thus making sure no student is out of status, out of no fault of their own. So those are some big wins for employees.
Right. Sameer, this change aligns with the widespread adoption of remote work arrangements as well.
Yes, that's correct. And in addition to that, I echo what Soundarya mentioned. This is a mostly positive development here. There have been a couple of provisions, one namely that seems to be particularly troubling. It's how the USCIS is proposing to define what kind of degrees are eligible for the H-1B. Traditionally, one just had to have a degree in the specialty or in the field related to the field that they are going to work in. The government now is proposing to make that requirement that the degree be directly related to the field, which is a much stronger requirement, and it might keep certain degrees from qualifying. So, for example, if I was a mechanical engineer degree and I wanted to work as a software engineer, I might not be able to get my H-1B approved because my degree is not directly related to software engineering. This is notwithstanding that many companies allow for these types of degree holders to work in these fields because much of technology now is multidisciplinary, right? And so we foresee this as a possible problem. It could lead to more requests for evidence and more denials of H-1B. So we're strongly hoping that USCIS reconsiders this rule in its final iteration.
Right. Of course, while some changes may face criticism, they also address long-standing issues. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast.